Last week, my best friend's father had a stroke. I was wondering, what is a stroke?
Let me explain it this way. It'll be easier for you to understand. Life to our brain is supplied by blood flowing within blood vessels. These water scenes can help us understand what a brain attack is. A brain attack is also called a stroke. These creeks are like the blood vessels in our brains. They flow with water just as the blood vessels flow with blood. Over time, the blood vessels can develop plaque, which will thicken the inside lining of the blood vessel. This causes a narrowing of the blood vessel. In this case, the ice represents the narrowing. Plaque can occur in a single location or in a number of places along the inside wall of the blood vessels. If we smoke or eat a lot of fats, such as found in chips, fried foods, or lard, we increase the possibility of the plaque formation. As time goes on, the plaque continues to grow and the inside of the blood vessel becomes small. This restricts the life-giving flow of the blood. Sometimes this plaque can get thicker and thicker, which can plug the blood vessel all the way across. Other times, a piece of this plaque can break loose and flow forward until it gets stuck in a small blood vessel. Sometimes the plaque can start bleeding and develop a blood clot that breaks loose, and it flows forward until it starts to plug a blood vessel. Once the blood vessel becomes plugged, all the blood flow, water in this case, stops moving forward. At this time, water cannot get past the ice blockage. In the brain, when blood cannot get past the blockage, the brain tissue begins to die. There is another way the brain can be damaged. The water here flows out of its pathway onto the ice. A blood vessel in the brain might burst and the blood can then flow out of the vessel into the brain. Once blood flows into the brain tissue, it can cause destruction of this tissue. Water that flows where it does not normally go can cause damage to the earth. Blood that flows where it does not normally go can cause damage to the brain. Let's take a look at that again. Life to our brain is supplied by blood flowing within blood vessels. These creeks are like the blood vessels in our brains. Over time, the blood vessels can develop plaque, which will thicken the inside lining of the blood vessel. Other times, a piece of this plaque can break loose and flow forward until it gets stuck in a small blood vessel. In the brain, when blood cannot get past the blockage, the brain tissue begins to die. A blood vessel in the brain might burst and the blood can then flow out of the vessel into the brain. If a blood vessel bursts or if the blood vessel becomes blocked, then damage to the brain will occur.
Welcome everyone. I'm going to say a short prayer. May God Samani Dil, may God Sanagam Gagizgak, the Wajaman Seven Masham Gazagiwan, Gazatizan, Madamos Nam, what doesn't the monk, Conjumustan and Madranand. Oh, may God. My name is Brenda. I want to share a story with you. One day I was sitting on a dock, wiggling my toes in nice cold water, when suddenly I had this painful headache, and it was getting worse. And then I started getting dizzy. I thought the headache would go away, but it didn't. It just got worse. I went to the nursing station and was flown to the hospital. The doctor told me that I was having a stroke. They kept me for a few days. Then I was able to go home. While I was in the hospital, the doctor told me that the cause of the stroke was high blood pressure. And that put me at a greater risk having another stroke. They gave me medication to help me with to lower the blood pressure. And I feel okay now, but I sure don't want to have another headache again. Miigwech.
Hi, my name is May, and I have a similar story. I was working around the house one day and decided to take a walk because I wanted to get some fresh air. The day was beautiful. The sun was shining. There was a nice cool breeze. And then suddenly I felt weak. The weakness was only on one side of my body, but my leg wouldn't work right. And I thought I might fall. This happened when I was visiting my sister in Kenora. She called 911 and the ambulance took me to the hospital. I was having a stroke. The doctor said that because I got there so quickly, that he could give me medicine that would stop the stroke and fix the problem. It did help. I still have a little bit of weakness on my leg on one side, but it is much better than when I first felt the weakness. I'm glad that we went to the hospital so quickly. I remember the person that was beside me, she told her nurse that the reason she had her stroke was because she was smoking cigarettes. And that really made me think, and I know that I'm going to stop smoking too. Miigwech.
Hi everybody, you can all call me Big D, but that's what everybody likes to call me. But actually, my name is Daryl, and I really have nothing to say, so I pass.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I believe that my friends and I are still young, and I believe that only older people get strokes.
That is not true. My name is Roger Fobister. When I was about 20 years old, I had some trouble too. My buddies and I were swimming, and I was floating on the water and called to my friends to come out into the water. Suddenly, I had trouble talking. I couldn't get the words out correctly. I knew what I wanted to say, but nothing sounded right. My friends took me home. My mother called telehealth. They said to go to the hospital right away. So we called the ambulance. When we got to the hospital, I was told I was having a stroke. My trouble speaking lasted for about 3 months. I was too embarrassed to talk in front of my friends. I was lucky my aunt lived here in the city, and I stayed at her house and went to rehab almost every day. They helped me practice speaking again. Now, sometimes when I am with a group of people and they talk too fast, I have trouble understanding what is being said. If I am very tired, sometimes I have trouble saying some words. but most of the time I am okay. My girlfriend says I talk too much anyway.
So what caused your stroke?
I was born with a hole in my heart. The doctor said that was probably the cause. Miigwech?
Hello, my name is Dave Wesley. I also had a stroke 2 years ago. Many years ago, I was overweight. I sat around watching television all day and never got much exercise. I sure ate a lot of chips and chocolate bars, and I drank a lot of pop. You know, that's when my diabetes started. I remember getting up to open the window to get some fresh air and to look up through the trees and look at the sky. What a beautiful day it was. Suddenly I had trouble seeing. My vision was blurry, and then I lost the sight in my eyes. I might even have had a headache and felt dizzy. It's kind of hard to remember. My daughter called the community health representative, and she called the plane. It was a long time to get to the hospital, partly because I waited a couple of hours before I told my daughter. Maybe if I had told her sooner, I wouldn't still have trouble seeing. The doctor said I had a stroke. He also said my diabetes and overweight caused a stroke. I look after myself better now. I have lost a lot of weight, and I always take my medication for my diabetes.
There is a greater chance that you will have a stroke if you smoke, if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you have heart trouble, if you have high blood cholesterol, if you drink too much alcohol, if you are overweight, or if you are not active. Please remember these signs of stroke. Weakness, sudden weakness, numbness, or tingling in the face, arm, or leg. Trouble speaking, sudden temporary loss of speech or trouble understanding speech. Vision problems, sudden loss of vision, particularly in one eye or double vision. Headache, sudden, severe, or unusual headache. Dizziness, sudden loss of balance, especially with any of the above signs. If you or someone you know is having any of these signs, call the nursing station right away, or call your community health representative, or call a member of your crisis team or first response team, or call telehealth, or call 911 to go to the hospital emergency department. Miigwech.
Si tu savais à quel point dans les lacs je te voyais différemment que tous les enfants. C'est que je vais imaginer ce retour dans mes bras. Je voudrais qu'on fasse ce qui se passe à moi, mais je passe à longtemps. Puis je voudrais comprendre, mais j'arrive pas. Puis je me prends, encore une fois parce que je suis dit, cette fois, sera pas.